Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a new site in Adobe Muse. So here I've just opened up the program and straight away we're presented with the icon for creating a new site. So I'm just going to click that icon and then it brings up the new site dialog properties. The first thing to note is that all of these values in here can be changed afterwards. So if you leave this and click OK, you then can come back and change all of these settings should you wish to later on. First of all, we've got the initial layout, so you can choose between desktop, tablet and phone depending on what kind of device you want to build your website for. Again, this can be changed afterwards, so if you do build a site for a desktop, you can change it to tablet or phone later on in the program, and I'll show you a video on how to do that. The typical page width will be set to 960 pixels by default, and that's a very common pixel width for web pages today. The minimum height is set to 500. The page can extend a lot further beyond the minimum height, and it's easy to adjust this in Muse when we get to work on the page in another video. You can change this now if you want to have a bit of a longer page to start with. Columns is like a grid system, so if you want some kind of grid across your page that will help you in terms of the alignment and positioning of content on your page, then you can increase the number of columns, and typically on a 960 pixel width that would be set to 12. So if I click that on 12, our column widths then go to 58 and we have a gutter of 20 pixels. So that's the space in between the columns, and there are 12 columns in 960 pixels. Again, like I say, this is just really used in terms of positioning and layout of content on the page to ensure that you have good alignment of your content. Margins and padding we don't need to really worry about. They're things that we can change and alter in the program later on. This tick here means that the website will be centered horizontally in the browser window, so it'll always be in the middle of the computer screen. And then down here we've got a standard resolution, but you could switch this for retina displays. So if you knew that you were building a website that was going to be shown on retina screens, then you would choose this higher resolution down the bottom. But for us, we're just going to stick with the standard. And that's what you need to set up in terms of defining a site here in Adobe Muse. When I click OK, it then takes me through to this thumbnail view, which is based on the planning view here in Muse. And if we switch to the design view, so we can now go and have a look at the page, what you'll see here, if I just close down some of these panel windows, is you'll see that we've got a piece of paper which is 960 pixels wide. We've got these margins around the edges as well as the padding top and bottom that was set, but also here's our 12 columns going across the page, and you can see that will help us in terms of spacing and alignment on the page.